Hey guys, Tim here. We're going to do a review of this Fractal Design Arc Mini R2 today. It's a micro ATX case that has some excellent cooling features I think you guys are really going to like. It can fit actually 2 radiators, and I'll show you that. I've got some radiators here on the side, and has a lot of good features around flexibility. This is what I've come to expect these days from Fractal. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front. On the front, you can see we have a integrated fan filter, and this is more of the foamy kind of mesh. It should hold up okay, but it will also help stop. It's kind of like the pre-filter on an air purifier, so that's really nice to see. We have one pre-installed 140 millimeter fan with room for one more, 2 5 1/4 bays, and on top we have your reset, which is a little hard to get to. You really have to push it with a pin. That doesn't bother me. I never use my reset button. Microphone, headphone, power with a little LED, 2 USB 3.0s, and an integrated fan controller that will control up to 3 fans. Go ahead and put the filter back in. We'll flip her around to the side. As you can see, nice smoked window. I don't want to take the plastic off because it might scratch, and I'm actually planning on doing a build in this case a little later. So let's get the back off here, and while I'm getting all the screws undone, I'll tell you a little bit about the back. So on the back, we have a pre-installed 120 millimeter. That's both of them actually. I think there's one on the top too, and we'll see that when we get inside. Both of the fans we've seen so far are Silent Series R2 fans from Fractal, and these are all thumb screws on the back, which is nice to see, and they are all just hand tightened. Sometimes you get stuff from companies where they put on by a machine, so they're a little bit, well, tight. So on the top, you have another fan filter, which this one is not removable. It doesn't pop out, but the whole cover comes off. And it has that same kind of, foam filter, which I really like personally. That's just me. So here is the top of the case. And there's the other 140 millimeter Silent Series R2 fan. So there's 2 140s and one 120 on the side here. Get her open. So as you can see, nice smoked window, well secured. Has a little flex, but isn't noisy. So on the inside, or actually here, let's finish up the back real quick. 120 millimeter fan. I/O cutout, 4 slots with an additional 5th for a fan controller or whatever else, and your PSU. As we'll go around the back real quick. So one of the most exciting things for me about this case is the fact that it now has the SSD brackets, so you can put 2 SSDs in the back of the motherboard tray, and they don't have to screw in through the tray itself. Would be nice to see a slightly larger cutout here, but I can understand that with the size of this case and with the 2 mounting brackets that, at some point you're gonna run out of space for things. So this should accommodate most CPU coolers. And you can see we have nice room for cabling, nice rubber grommets everywhere, and everything is of course black. I would come to expect nothing less from Fractal Design, who, in my opinion, they make some of the best looking cases. I like the black and white theme, but I also like the attention to detail that they take in their products. We have a 3-in-3 split on the drives. So the top 3 are removable with 2 thumb screws and a little pull. And you can put this in sideways if you want to. So that gives you extra airflow. Maybe you don't put hard drives in here, but you don't want to lose the tray. You want to keep it with your PC, you can just put it in that way. Or you can remove it completely, which is what I'm going to do here. You might... The bottom tray can be moved over. And of course, the brackets are not toolless, but they're very rigid and they have extremely nice rubber grommets on them. I actually prefer these to almost anybody else's because for once in somebody's life, somebody did the SSD correctly on these, the 2.5, and put it in the middle. So, you know, if they could have put it on the outside like every other company does, then you have to take out the rubber grommets. This way you just put it in there, leave the rubber grommets in, you're never going to lose them. Little things like that. I don't know if they were actually meant to do it that way, but little things like that, and that nice like ka-junk when it goes in there. That's the kind of stuff I like. This is why I really like Fractal cases. Here is that fan controller. We have your front I/O. One thing I would like to see is it would have been nice if the coating had gone all the way down to the ends. You know, I'll forgive them for that, but 3.0 with a 2.0 lead. The fans are some of my favorite pre-sleeved fans. It looks really nice. It goes all the way down. See, these go all the way down to the end. So you can see a little bit of color, like just barely in. That's if you're really looking for it. So those look really good. I wish they had done this kind of sleeving on these cables, but c'est la vie. So you can remove this, you can move it back, and there's one very good reason for that. You can put one of these suckers in a push-pull array or configuration in the front. So imagine, I don't want to take it out right now, but imagine that's the fans are in the front, they're pushing through, you have pull fans on, and this drive tray is right here. So it will affect the second slot, I believe. It will make the second slot be, if I can find my tape measure, the second slot will have a limitation of roughly, 7 or 8 inches on the very bottom. Just because this will stick up just a slight bit higher than the bottom of the fourth opening. So if you're doing water-cooled cards, you might be able to get away with leaving this in. But then again, you could always just put, two 256 gig SSDs in the back and call it a day. So that's a thick 240 in the front. And now what I actually am really impressed with, and if you guys have already feel like you've seen this review once, you probably have, and I decided that I needed to redo the review specifically to cover this one feature. All of that, you say, wow, that was a lot, Tim. However, now you can take out the 5 1/4 drive array. Why would you want to do this, you say? Because now, on the inside, well, technically it'd probably be this way, but on the inside, you can fit a 360 rad. And it's actually offset. So I'm not sure if you can do a push-pull with this top set. You're going to have this guy in the front and this guy here. But there might be enough room to do a push-pull It's pretty close. Now this will be this way. You have to leave yourself room for tubing. That'll be the big deciding factor. But the nice thing here is that it is offset, so it is forward. And, you know, pretty much this whole case is... you can pretty much take this whole case apart, which is crazy because nobody does this. Nobody... Well, there's that screw. Somewhere. Nobody does this. Here is the fan filter. Another thing I really like about this case is the fan filter does cover the second hole here. So if you wanted to, you could actually put your thick radiator here, take the drive cages out completely, and put another 120 radiator in the bottom and a 120 radiator in the back. It might be a little tight in the back, but you know, you could get one more 120 radiator in here. And that's a lot of radiator for, you know, an MATX case. So, but it is nice to see both bottom inlets are covered. You can also use this for an intake if you wanted to. I'm gonna build a home server soon, and I was going to just do looking for my reservoir to show you the mistake I made. I know this isn't technically part of this review, but so here is the XSPC with the front off, because I'm actually going to paint the front. So I could put it, you know, like right here and mount it in. I'd have to bend some brackets for it, or, you know, hit up Home Depot or something. So that might be an option. I might do that. The other option is, because this actually does have, you know, a fairly decent, it's a rebranded SwiftTech pump. So, though if I'm going to go through that much trouble, I might just buy a pump and a new reservoir. I don't know. Haven't quite decided yet. And then this guy, well, it'll probably go, I don't know, I'm going to have to play around with fans and positioning and, you know, all that jazz, but probably go like that. You can see there should be more than enough room to get the coolant tubes up. And then, you know, MATX, you get the right MATX board, you can do nice little Crossfire or SLI, water cooled. So this case definitely has options, and for the price it comes in at, guys, I don't know any case that gives you this much for this price. My only complaint would be that it's MATX, but there is the ARC MIDI, and hopefully we'll be doing a review of that case soon. But I really wanted to go with a case that's a little smaller. So that, and if I do an MATX build, I don't have to tear apart my big case to do my first water cooling build. Which on second thought was a really good idea, just because, well, then I can edit these videos still if I mess up my system. So anyways, this is Tim for Timmy Tech TV. Great case, like I said, feature list of, you know, the fact that there's very few rivets and almost all screws. I mean, the corners are riveted together, but you kind of expect that. Is just fantastic. I'm really amazed by this case. Like I said, I really liked it so much after playing around with it yesterday after I did the video that I felt like I had to do another video because that video didn't do it justice. So this is Tim for Timmy Tech TV. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.